Hello everybody, welcome to another one of my videos. So I've just started a bit of music, hopefully that won't be too loud. Anyway, today is finally going to be another one of my game devlogs. I know it's been like almost a year. The truth of the matter is, and I'll just talk about this for a bit. The fact is that I actually, wait, let me put it like that because it's too loud and I can't focus on talking. Truth of the matter is that I've actually had to, get a job, which is something that has always been a big thing with most of my game projects in the past as well. Having to work and, also have a personal life has always been detrimental to these projects. But I haven't actually not done anything. The idea is that I did do some rather big changes right after the last game development log, and I will get right into them. Now, the first things first, if you guys have been following these videos, you did know that I was using these sticky notes in order to have like a makeshift board for tasks and such. Now these all portray to programming, but we have been using Trello, by the way, and I'll get back into that. Now I will probably be retiring these sticky notes in the near future, so yeah, these will be going away. But anyway, so there were two big changes that have occurred during this time. Now the first one is that I've changed the map so that it doesn't, no, and you'll see that we also have a couple of menus, but I've changed the map layout to not be a let's open the adventure map. I've changed it so that it's not a diamond shape anymore, or a rhombus. It's rectangular in shape right now. And the reason for that change was because, well, honestly, I didn't like the diamond shape, right? So let's go ahead and start the game up. Also, we've finally decided on a name, and you can see it right here. I'll go into that a bit as well. We've got a bit of a menu going on in here, nothing special, but I just wanted to have something so that we can use it. And let's start the game. And yeah, basically right now, if you zoom out, there you go. The map is not a diamond anymore, rather not diamond shape anymore. Now, as you can see, the other things that were previously loaded properly on the map are not right now. And we've also changed the some of the graphics. So not much in terms of playability. Apparently there's a town here, but it doesn't load properly, and that's because of the other big change that I've done. So this was one of the big changes, and this obviously involved other problems. Now I'll go into the tasks after I show you guys the game. So if I just reload it now, we've now got a map creator, and it's a very basic version. Basically, you can choose a map size. Loading and creating campaigns is also, loading maps and creating campaigns is also going to be possible. But right now you can just select the size from 32 by 32 all the way up to 160 by 160. There's going to be limits on these because you can also put in a custom size. So let's go for 48 by 48, and it's just an empty grasslands map in the shape of a rectangle, as you guys can clearly see. Now there's a bit of a bug here that we're not getting 2 tiles at the bottom. And this is due to how difficult it is with Godot to actually create an isometric rectangle map, right? And that's because the 0.00 is right smack down in the middle of it. Let me show you guys. So let me go to, yeah, there we go. So if you create a isometric tile map, the tile which is 0, 0 is going to be right in the middle of the camera and then you go up the y-axis like so, and then you go up the x-axis like so, and then you go up both of them directly down. And if you want to go up, then like physically up like we're looking right now, then it's going to go minus minus in both x and y. And because of this makes things very complicated to have a map in an isometric tile map you know, be a rectangle or a square instead of the usual diamond shape that you would have. Now, another thing that's great with this map creator, like I've shown you, is that you can actually have custom sizes. Let's say you want 16 by 16. There you go. It's 16 by 16. Well, except with the two squares over here that go missing at the bottom, but I'll have to fix that in the near future. Another thing with the map creator that's cool, and why I wanted it like this, is because you can have maps which are not symmetrical. You can go 20 by 10, and there you go. It's a non-symmetrical map. It's much longer than it is tall, I think. Hopefully it worked. Let's go for example 16 by 32, which should be much taller than it is wide. I don't know that it's actually working right. I might have to come back at this because I thought that I had it working properly. Let's go with a small one, just to see if this actually works. 6 by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it doesn't work actually. Oh yeah, I remember now. It doesn't work. You can have them wider than tall, but not taller than wide. And no, it actually doesn't work. So this is due to, like I said, how the shape of the map portrays with the x and y axis. But this was on my to-do list some months ago, because I did have to take another break this summer. It wasn't that easy getting things done. Because besides from work, I also, you know, wanted to get some days off. Anyway, I'll get back to fixing that. It's not that big of a deal. Another thing that I was experimenting with, and that you can see over here, is that I'm actually I actually have tile maps. And we have some very nice tiles over here that we can experiment with, but I will need to write an algorithm in order for us to be able to lay them down in the map editor and for them to interconnect properly. And that was the biggest thing that I was working on. So let's go ahead and look at our Trello over here. We're not going to go into the backlog and the standby, or the maybe I'll go a bit into the ongoing stuff. Sadly, our team has diminished in size a bit. Well, obviously, since I didn't actually really focus all that much on getting work done, and you know, people don't tend to stick around if you yourself don't get it done. But hopefully that will change. I don't know. I'll just have to improve my work schedule so that I can actually spend like at least 30 minutes every day on the game. That would be my biggest resolution for this autumn, let's say, and winter, hopefully. I know it's not a New Year's one, but it is good enough. Anyway, so let's see. The changes were, I fixed moving by keyboard, the character that is, because it didn't update properly in the UI, and the move markers were not updated properly, and hopefully that's now all fixed. Now I've refactored the map initialization so that it takes up less time and resources. What I basically did there was I changed up a bunch of this data that I had in here. Let me see if I can find this. Well, these are scripts actually. I'd need to open them. So basically what I did, just so that we're clear, is that when the map loaded, it used to have too much information that was not necessary there, like information about neutral armies and mines and other interactable objects on the map. And now they have been moved to their own JSON file, so that it's easier for the map to load itself, and then for the object to be instanced on the map. Refactored army duplication process, yeah, basically I was just duplicating an army that was existing on the map. Right now that doesn't happen anymore. So if you look at the 2D map, there's no actual extra armies or anything in here, other than the ones that have been put by me. But this method of creating maps is not going to work any longer, right? Because what we'll do is we'll have the proper map editor to do that. So we'll only be able to just test a couple of things out with this view. The map editor is actually going to be the one that will create the maps when you hit save in it, right? So that's something to keep in mind. So right now the army, and by army I mean the captain with the units inside of it, and not inside of that, yeah, in its command, they will be properly instanced. Now, okay, I fixed game not loading up in the editor mode, yes, and I did that by actually just making an editor and stripping all of the code from the editor mode out of the game, because that wasn't a good idea. It was just a very temporary fix to having maps being easily created, because it's much easier to just click and drag and set up things like in a normal map editor and then save it, rather than use the JSON file to do it. That's almost impossible. Fixed game crashing when initializing map editor mode. Again, it's the same thing, since the map editor is now a map creator. It's not a mode anymore, so it's going to be done. Now, decided on a name. This was a long discussion, well, not very long, but this was a discussion between people that, various people that have interacted with the project until now, and the name Decerate was what I came up with. I'm not very proud of it, but I guess it's good enough. Basically, the story will tie in nicely with the name. Let's just say that it is inspired by the action itself to serrate, or to lacerate, which is, an English word for gutting things up, I guess. Okay, so that's nice. Other than that, we've had some other art-related things that went on, graphical style guidelines, and the knights, which the knights and the warlocks are going to be the two factions available in the demo, so we've been working on those. And yeah, the biggest one, which is reshape the maps to look like a rectangle instead of a diamond. It's quite obvious, and I explained it in the beginning what that is about. Now, other things that are currently in review, as you've seen, the new tile environments, decorations and tiles, those are in review because I want to make the map editor fully functional, and that is what I'm working on right now, create a separate map editor. So I want to make it fully functional, and that includes a whole lot of coding, because creating the map itself, there's two ways of doing it. Obviously, there's random generation, which that is planned. I don't know that it's going to be in the demo, but it is planned for the full release, obviously. And there's also the map editor mode of just using a brush to set things up. So when you're using those brushes, you need to be able to hook the tiles up graphically together between these separate environments, rivers and environments and stuff like that, lava flows or oceans, seas, whatever. So that's quite a big challenge that I'm up against right now. Well, not right now because I haven't worked on it recently, but it is the next thing that we're working on. We've also got some concept art done by our boy Gitrius. Go ahead and check him out on minds.com. His name is Neutronbore, and I think it's Neutronbore on Instagram as well. So you guys can find him there, or just look for Neutronbore all over the internet and you can find his work. He's a really talented guy, and he's really passionate about this project. I really appreciate him. Anyway, this is also the latest one of his works. This is basically how the human town is going to look like. Well, this is very well zoomed in, but it's not going to be that big. So this is basically the human town on the adventure map. That's how it's going to look in the adventure map itself when you stride around. There's other things that he's added in here and we'll be working on. And then we've got some musical compositions, which are obviously in work as well, but we can't give you any details on those yet. Yeah, we'll need to set up the website. So the last things that I discussed are still on track, which is the website and everything else, and marketing and all of that good stuff. And there's plenty of other goodies up in here that I don't want to spoil too much, which are going to be upcoming. So yeah, basically this is the latest update. It's been quite a long time, and well, basically last year when I started, I would have imagined that by now I'd have a fully running demo alpha, at least a fully running demo with a big community behind it, and hopefully some feedback to go along with it. But that's how things have been, and things will continue to be slow. But yeah, I would like to thank everybody for watching and listening, and hopefully I'll be making more of these in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned. Goodbye.